Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
With this and my number one, if either of these movies are bad or disappointing, I'm gonna be very unpleasant for the rest of the year. I'm just gonna say that right now. You've been warned. Because the first Spider-Verse movie, I love that movie to death. It's just the perfect combination of everything, basically. It's pays tribute to basically all eras of Spider-Man, animated and live action. It tells a great emotional story about, a new protagonist, Miles Morales, taking up the mantle as Spider-Man and, kind of setting himself up for greatness by doing that. The animation style is amazing. The editing, the soundtrack is incredible. Which, by the way, the soundtrack I listen to on a regular basis for the last 4 years. It's incredible. It's one of those movies where it's one of those I can say is just an absolute 10 out of 10 amazing A plus movie. So now we've got a sequel where there's some pretty big shoes to fill, but I'm confident they will do so because it's opening up more of the Spider Verse. There's hundreds of new Spider-Man we're gonna see. Some great callbacks, like there's the Insomniac PS4 Spider-Man, which is probably just like a tiny cameo, but also, we get Spider-Man 2099 in there, which is a fan favorite. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be visually incredible. The sound, the characters are going to be great, but I just hope that Miles' story will have a good, satisfying continuation and just make sure that he is still the focal point of it, which I think it will. I just hope they don't get too wrapped up in the spidery fan service this time around, which with so many spider people, who knows, but I have a lot of faith they're gonna pull it off, and I just can't wait for another one of these movies. Like, my body is ready, just inject it into my veins right now.
Get the central line ready. Have 100% pure Spider-Man ready to go.
Exactly. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, neither am I. It's funny. When they announced that the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film, it did nothing for me. Like I like the idea of Miles Morales. I'm not a comic book reader, but I like the idea of kind of mixing it up a little bit and introducing a character like Miles Morales, get a little bit of diversity in there, but also kind of expanding on the Spider-Man universe and giving new stories to tell. And then when I finally saw this film, or the first film in this trilogy, wow, the animation style. I did not think that I would like the animation style, and then when you see it on the big screen, especially in 3D, the animation style pops. There's just something about this,
Mhm.
about the care that they took with the animation style. It's whatever the best realized version of that they had going in for this animation style for Spider-Man, it worked. As far as the vocal cast too, anytime you can have Adam Carolla playing a Spider-Man character, and then seeing that it's the black and white film noir version of Spider-Man, that just had me from the get go of the first film. The trailers for this second film, it it looks like, yeah, they're expanding the universe. They're going across the Spider-Verse. I am not a comic book reader, so I appreciate all of the attention to detail that it looks like the filmmakers have done, looking up all of the different Spider-Man and Spider-Man animation styles and different iterations of Spider-Man. Obviously, Spider-Man is one of the most popular superheroes of all time, so the fact that there's a Spider-Verse, a whole Spider-Universe out there, doesn't surprise me, and it looks like they've mined as many different characters, versions of Spider-Man from that Spider-Verse as possible and put them in this film. I am also very excited about Spider-Man. Spider-Man also on my list. This one comes in at number 3. It's one that could have easily been number 1. Jake Johnson does
Yeah.
such a good job. Shamir Moore as Miles Morales. It looks like most of the cast is returning. Also, seeing Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen. Huge fan of her from that first film. So, yeah, I just already said it all. More thoughts on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Cody?
Um, I can't wait for it. And again, if it disappoints, I'm probably just gonna go live in the mountains for the rest of my life. You'll never hear from me again because I will not recover from that level of disappointment. I'm probably setting myself up for failure right now, but I don't care. I can't wait.
Yeah, and the fact that they're making both of these sequels at the same time, we see that every once in a while with live action films. We saw it with Back to the Future 2 and 3, The Matrix 2 and 3. We're seeing it with the Avatar 2 and 3. But you don't really see a ton of animated films go that route. Initially, this was a part one of two, that because they're producing both of these Spider-Verse sequels at the same time. So we should get Ending the Spider-Verse. I forget the name of the third one, but they switched it the
Beyond the
naming.
Spider-Verse.
So which one? What'd you say?
It's Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, even better. They switched the naming convention there at some point from being part one and part two to obviously these more dynamic standalone type films. But they're producing both of these at the same time as well. So yeah, I as well am really excited